this is Swati and I will be instructor in this course Azure Fundamental AZ-900 tutorial. There are few parts, go by one, part 1, 2, 3 and so on. So here we are going to cover the basic concept on the cloud, and before that, to understand the cloud concept and the terminologies what Microsoft Azure has given in a very layman language, the part 1 has been covered, that how we are using the computer, in that how we are using the cloud, the concept behind that, and then moving ahead on part 1, 2, 3 and the 4 part, we will also look on the cloud concept, the cloud computing, data side, networking side, storage side, security side, pricing and support side, how we are using the Azure, creating the Azure account, what all things are mandated. We will also take a deep dive on the data and the security and the computation and the compute power on the cloud. So let's get started with AZ-900 fundamentals. See, before we go through the cloud concept and the cloud computing, it is very important to understand a few keywords, that is compute power, storage, networking, analytics, data center. So we all know actually at day-to-day life we are actually using this thing. Before getting to cloud computing and the Azure concept, let's just brush up in our olden days what we have seen. So we all know what is a computer, right? So we have a computer where we have a keyboard. Keyboard gives the input, mouse gives the input, and what happened if we say 2 plus 1? So when we give the output, that is doing the calculation. So this calculation, backend the calculation, this is called compute. From here only this keyword has come up, and the power of this, the bigger, complex problem they are able to solve and able to give the solution, that is compute power. Okay, so see, we all know that what all things are there in a computer. We have CPU, that is a central processing unit. We have you have that is there only we have your storage, your hard disk, your RAM, and multiple things are there, right? So what what exactly is required, the main three important parameter for a computer? So that is your CPU, and that is what it do the computation, that is your processor. Save somewhere, that is our hard disk, right? So there is a hard disk where we have some memory, which keep the, that also have the permanent memory, and we also have a RAM, that is a random access memory. So what it do, when we give input to that, calculate, and it take input from your hard disk, it calculate, give output, and then it get vanished from our RAM, right? So what all things was required, that is your storage, compute power, how it is working with the networking, right? So what exactly is there, that we have seen, that how it works, what is an internet? In a layman language, what is an internet? When we connect one system to another and able to interact between each other, right? So we have this networking, a deep ocean as well, and like this only the telecommunication concept has gone. Like this only your Geo has taken that contract, and they have made build a big infrastructure on that. And like this uh, we have a network on that, right? So we have understood till here that what is the compute power, what is your storage, what is your RAM, what is your network. One more thing is required. What we are looking that to run the computer or a main computer or server, that is your NIC. So CPU, RAM, storage, NIC, that is nothing network. NIC full form is network interface controller, right? So in your laptop you can see where we do the LAN connection, there is a hole, so that is only called your NIC, network interface controller. So like this, the internet work. Now again, when we divide the keyword internet, inter plus net. So that is something, you have a larger, as I said, in deep ocean also we have a big network. So like that, far also we have built a network that is called inter. When it become intra, so within a building also, within a room also, we when we build a network, the nearer computer, that is your intra. So you have a intranet, that is a thin client where you have the connection between your computer. So why we are using the internet and intranet? Even though if we want to see the a shared folder or a shared document or a shared application, what exactly is there, we want to look into that, then we use intranet, that is your thin client. And internet, where we have your HTTP, and we are connecting between each other, we exchange the signal, right? So within also and outside also. Now when we understood this thing, analytics, so we are taking the data, fetching the data, understanding that, and getting the solution. How it works we will see. Data center, where we store, um, uh, you know the all the, your storage is there, server is there. So to establish this big data center, what all things are required? Should be very powerful, right? We are working on one computer. Now we are having a larger complex problem, and then we have more, so to build that, we need a bigger storage, a bigger data center. And when we have a hardware, then what is required? AC is required, big cost is required, infrastructure is required. To solve all those things, Azure, Google, AWS, Alibaba, IBM, multiple cloud providers are there. Where Azure is given by Microsoft, AWS, Amazon, IBM Cloud, GCP, that is by Google, Alibaba. So multiple cloud providers are there. What they are doing? They are building the data center in the multiple region, and they have their strong infrastructure, and they are giving to the customer, right? So but now we have understood that these are the keyword are important, and how it is working with the cloud environment and the cloud computing. So before moving further, let's understand when we are having a business. So they will, why we are having a business? We are giving some solution, we are providing the solution. For what we are providing the solution? Anything that is related to real life problem, anything that is related like this. When we are thinking for any business, what we are thinking, what exactly in day to day life, what exactly the need of the customer. Based on the business objective, we actually work on that, and we work for the solution and providing, right? So till here we are good on the things. Now let's also understand what is IP address. So we are having a URL, right? What is the URL? Uniform resource locator. So that is nothing, the address of the website. If you want to search anything, any web application, we have the URL and we give into that. But how this website actually, built? There is something, a central authority are there, and what they said, okay, so you see, if every individual will manage, and there is no infrastructure to manage that, it will be very hard, very challenging to come over it. So what the central authorities says, we will discuss that who all are the central authorities. So just like our phone directory, right? So in our telephone directory, what happened? All the telephone directory to that, cities or country, like that, everything is in a sequence and they are managing. So like that, for our website, for our IP address URL, we have the central authority where we have the IP address. So they said, okay, so it will be always a number, right? So they say, okay, I will take care of that, and you just work on your domain and the hosting part. What is this domain? So the DNS, domain name server. So what they said, I have all the IP address. They are keeping a track of all the IP address, and they are giving a domain like .com, .co, .in, .uk. Multiple domains are there. And who is hosting? So there is a difference that you have a domain and you are hosting. So there is someone, right? And they are hosting into their server. We have a Git, right? So Git is by someone, and Git is helping to host our domain, whatever code we are keeping in a repository. So how this client server architecture work, we can quickly correlate now by going into this concept, and then we will jump into the cloud computing. So client server architecture, what happened? You have a user who is giving input www.google.com. What happened? This request went. It went into the business logic. It compute from where it will take from some storage, right? So there is some permanent storage that is called your storage service. From there it has taken a response to the user. What is this? This is your compute service, from where it has taken a storage service, and what it is giving data, that is your database service. And how it is happening? Through network, that is your network service. So this, imagine this is a big large computer, and we have overall understood the concept here it, and now it will be very easy now to understand about the cloud. So what is cloud? So the definition of cloud computing services is, it is the delivery of computing services. What? Like server, storage, database, networking, software, analytics, intelligence, and even more. So whatever is required, so whatever was needed to run a small computer, whatever was needed to run a big computer, main server, and cloud, this only cloud computing, what it do, it has a, imagine it is a bigger computer, and this is providing a service. So it is a delivery of that computing service, which has their own server, storage, databases, NIC, whatever we need that. So all these services will be delivered over internet, and that's what cloud is. Now, because of the delivery on the cloud, this allow us to deliver a solution more faster and in an innovative style, and it will be more flexible. That's why we are using a cloud. Also, it is helping in the capital expenditure and a operational expenditure. So let's understand the advantage by taking this as a small example. Like we are using a Ola, right? We are using the Uber. So who is taking the ownership of this infrastructure and the expenditure, buying a car, doing the servicing, taking care for everything, right? So who is doing? That is your capital expenditure. They are putting their effort. And what is operational expenditure? Operational expenditure is, we are booking the Ola, we are booking the Uber and taking that service. So we are just paying whatever we are using. That is your operational expenditure. So whatever is the upfront spending of the money on a physical infrastructure, that is your capital expenditure. And whatever we are spending on a product, whatever is needful, and we are getting billed whatever only we are using. We are not investing on the upfront cost. That is your operational expenditure. What is Azure? So Azure is a cloud platform which you can develop and build a variety of application and services, which has given by the Microsoft. And whatever solution we have, we can deploy on the cloud. So we can definitely explore this link in a very well way, and we can create the free account. For that we need you need your phone number, your credit card, and your Microsoft or GitHub account. Okay, so this is also important, one of the exam question, and we when we explore this link, it will be more helpful to go into the doc.microsoft.com, and this Microsoft documentation actually very helpful for the certification. So we have to go line by line. So when we have the Azure account, we can explore more on that, and the 30 days will be the free trial, and this will give the $200 worth of credit. Once this 1 month will get over, then the subscription of that 200 dollar, we need to take additional subscription. So there are few services which will be valid for the 12 months, and few are paid. So after 30 days, this $200 will get expired. So we have to pay how much we are using on that. Okay. So we need to create this account. We need a phone number, credit card or a debit card, or any Microsoft account or GitHub account. So cloud computing. So we are here, the deployment model and types of cloud computing: private cloud, public cloud, and hybrid cloud. So what is private cloud? Sorry, what is public cloud? Let's understand the public, then private, and then hybrid. So cloud service on a public interact with anyone and who want to purchase. So this is a cloud service provider that is public. So you are having the resources like server, storage, your databases, and anything, anyone who want to purchase this service, that is your public cloud. So it will be for everyone. That's why the name is public. Now the private cloud, that is will be the your data center will be on premises. So it will be consist of the computing resources which will be used exclusively by the user from one business or the one organization. Like you have a CBI or government sector, or in our organization we have a payroll department, medical department, right? So few data and the information application we want to keep private. We don't want to keep our application deploy on a public. So we will use the private cloud. We will take the service for the private cloud. What is hybrid? So the combination of public cloud and the private cloud, this is your hybrid cloud. So we need this is one of the very good example, and most of the organization actually using the hybrid cloud, because we need a good technical and people, and we can deploy the application whatever can be public, and we can also keep our application and data whatever needs to be private. So there are advantages and disadvantages also for hybrid, private and public. So we can, there is no capital expenditure to scale up for the public cloud. Application can be quickly provisioned and deprovisioned as well in the public cloud, and organization pay only whatever they use. Private cloud hardware must be purchased for the startup and the maintenance. Organization have complete control over resources and security, and organization are responsible for hardware maintenance and update, because it is on their own premises. So they have to take care for the maintenance part, right? When you come on a hybrid cloud, so when cost will increase, you have to put maintain the infrastructure, that is a private cloud. When it comes on flexibility, right, you want to use public, go on a public, you want to use private, go on a private. So when the come on a word of flexible, we come on a hybrid cloud. So it provide more flexibility. Organization determined whether to run their application. Organization control the security, compliance and the legal requirement. That is your hybrid cloud. The uses of cloud computing, where all we use the cloud. So we create we use to build the application, we use to store, backup, to analyze data, anything we can use in infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So we will see all those things, and it will be using to deliver the software as per demand. So multiple uses of the cloud computing. We will see the advantages of the cloud environment. What all are the advantages of that, benefit of that? The benefit of cloud environment is high availability, scalability, right? Elasticity, agility, geo-distribution, disaster recovery, security, fault tolerance. So we will understand this keyword, performance, uh, uh, reliability. So we'll understand what exactly this is and the advantages of the cloud computing. So high availability is the service level agreement where cloud anytime, see, anytime it will be available, even though some down phase will be coming, but cloud is there, and there will be no downtime, even though things will go wrong. So it has the high availability. Scalability is it is scale vertically, scale horizontally. What is the scale vertically? Scale up. You have 8 GB RAM and you need 16 GB RAM, right? So it will scale vertically. You have 8 GB RAM and you want to use only 4 GB RAM or only 2 GB RAM, so scale down. So it will be scale vertically. That is your scalability. Scale horizontally, that the increases the compute capacity by adding the instances of the resource. Like you have your virtual machine in your computer and you want to use more space, so for that we will add the instances. That is a scale out, that is scalability. Now, elasticity. You can configure the cloud based on the app to take advantage of auto scaling. So based the elastic, how it works, what if, how much length is required, it will be get enlarged, it will be scaled down. So like that elasticity like scalability, we use the cloud. Agility to deploy and configure the cloud based resources. Geo distribution, we can deploy the app and data to a regional data center and multiple across the globe. We have the data center for the best performance in their region. Disaster recovery is by taking the advantage of cloud and taking backup services, data replication in a geo distribution. You can deploy your app with anywhere. It will be safe, and the it will be safe means protect you for the any kind of disaster. Fault tolerance, like if just like my network got disturbed, right? So we if any setup is getting disturbed or risk is there, so cloud is having their plan, mitigation plan for the fault tolerance. So these are the advantages and the benefit of the cloud computing. Types of cloud services are IaaS, infrastructure as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, and SaaS, that is software as a service. Your PaaS actually called a serverless. So what happened? The types of cloud services, it is a shared responsibility model. It comes under shared responsibility model. So on premises you have private cloud where few things you need to manage and few things cloud provider will manage. So in your private cloud, your data and access, application, runtime, operating system, virtual machine, compute, networking, storage, everything you are going to manage. Now, when you are using these services, cloud services, that is your infrastructure platform and software as a service. Then in an infrastructure as a service, data and access, application, runtime, operating system, virtual machine, you need to manage. And cloud provider, what it will manage? They will manage the compute, networking, and storage. In the same way, platform as a service, you need to only manage data and access and the application. Remaining everything, cloud provider will manage. And software as a service, only data and access you need to manage. Remaining everything, cloud provider will manage. So in short, what is your IaaS? It has the shared responsibility and the most flexible cloud service. You need to configure and manage the hardware for your application, OS and all. Platform as a service, you don't have to bother of OS. You need to just focus on the application development, and platform management is handled by the cloud provider. Software as a service, it's a very good example of Microsoft Office 365, Outlook, Calendar. So in SaaS, constantly hosted and managed software from the end user, and the user connect and use the cloud based app over internet. And we will pay whatever we use. So it will go on a pay as you go pricing model, and user pay for the software they use on a subscription model. Azure Fundamental AZ-900 tutorial we have covered in this part and other parts, and which is also important for the exam perspective. So when you go to doc.microsoft.com, it will give you the exam modules and on which area the question are going to be asked. So these in other parts, my other videos, it is going to cover the cloud concept, cloud computing, Azure services, networking, storage, Azure security, app services, resource governance, and security and compliance, including the SLA service level agreement. So make sure that you go with all the parts, then only it will make sense. And I hope you are going to like all the videos. Please go through these links. Azure.microsoft.com will help you with your new Azure account, and we will look into the other part. And doc.microsoft.com will give you the references on the material we have used here in Azure Fundamentals, and it will actually give you the entire Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. Also on the certification, if somebody of you are opting for the certification, it will give you a very good insight on that. And the preparation on the certification, I would highly recommend doc.microsoft.com. Each and every line you have to go through again and again. The basic beginner guide I have given here the link, but definitely if you go through doc.microsoft.com, you will get the entire idea of the syllabus, you will get the entire idea of the course. And this we have tried to capturing in this tutorial and the PPTs. And when you start using the lab on the azure.microsoft.com, you will also get the documentation and the lab part both way around. When you are going with the exam of Azure exam, you can actually enroll with that, and when you click on the doc.microsoft.com, go with the certification area, you can schedule your exam and get certified. So for that you need to choose exam, whether you want to go AZ-900, which is actually the basic and the fundamental. If you want to go with the Azure administrator or your DevOps engineer or etc. But this is the fundamental which you can go. You can enroll for your exam, and it will ask you to give the basic details and the payment, and you can get certified by Microsoft. I'll highly recommend to go with that. And this is the references we have taken ahead. Thank you so much, and see you very soon. Please like and subscribe my channel.